everybody. Jamie, Manti, Kyle, and Isaiah. Kyle Brandt, that's so sad what you just mentioned off the top about Tommy DeVito. Talk to us, Goose.
Well, it's been reported that the Giants, maybe as expected, we know this. We've talked a lot of Giants, and they got a Russ, and they got Dart, and they got Jameis. A lot of teams, most teams, I'm not talking to anybody in the AFC North, you don't keep 4 quarterbacks. Just like you saw the Browns get rid of Kenny Pickett. I say get rid of. They traded him. Tommy DeVito, it's been a fun run. It's the cutlets. It's the gesture that we all not really sure if we're supposed to do, but he did it. He made it work. Tommy DeVito was a guest on Good Morning Football a few years back coming into the draft. He and his agent, Sean Stellato, came into the set. Lot of cologne, but also very nice people, and we weren't really sure Tommy was going to find a home in the league. He did. He had a great run. He played some good football, and I hope the run continues with the New York Jets, because I want to keep our boy home.
Kyle, the Tommy DeVito, Sean Stellato appearance on GMFB was on the rare Saturday edition of GMFB before the third day of the NFL draft that weekend, and we were all bleary-eyed working our 6th day on the show. We were like, Tommy DeVito, you're kind of awesome, and Sean Stellato, you are fascinating. The same agent who was seen kissing the cheek of the father of Tommy DeVito in the stands when he got his start with the Giants. So it's been a fun run, at least with the Giants, but as Kyle said, maybe there's still a home in New York for the New Jersey-grown quarterback.
Was it brute? I just need to know, what was the sense, Kyle?
It was everything. It was the whole salad bar, baby. Every single one. Would you like some of this? Yes, I'll just have them all. Like a Swiss shower, just hit me all with them. The rumor has it, that studio is still, you can still pick up just a scent of it if it's the right degree. I mean, it was the most I've ever smelled in my life.
You can see the picture of him and you can smell it.
Yeah. When they walk out, you're like, whew. So is that an Abercrombie?
God bless them.
All right, moving on GMFB. Rap Sheet, good morning to you. Ian Rappaport, our NFL Network insider, with us this morning. Kyle made mention to it. Please, go ahead, Rap Sheet. I know you have a thought about this.
Yeah, the Tommy DeVito release, not a surprise. Teams never keep 4 quarterbacks. But to me, Tommy DeVito's legacy will always be this. And it's not fair, but this is just what it is. In the 2023 season, he went on a late heroic run that made his agent, Sean Stellato, a national something or other. And all it did was cost the Giants the chance to draft Jaden Daniels and Drake May.
That was it.
So it's great. It's great. Tommy DeVito had some nice moments. But if you're a Giants fan and you're like, and look, I think Jackson Dart has been really promising, and maybe he is QB1 and then all is well. But this Giants organization would have been a lot better had Tommy DeVito not won any of those games. So anyway, he was cut today.
Boo.
Okay, Rap Sheet, good to know. Appreciate you. Speaking of that topic of keeping 4 quarterbacks, what's going on with the Cleveland Browns?
Well, let's start first with the Cincinnati Bengals. I want to talk about some of the news that happened over the course of the last 24 hours, including one you guys hit on last hour, Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals. His hold-in is now over, one of the NFL's most high-profile hold-ins, ends without a contract extension, not a long-term deal, nothing that will keep Hendrickson in Bengals colors for the next several years. Instead, it is a 1-year, $14 million raise. It is a solution that fixes things this year, puts the NFL sack leader on the field for this Bengals defense. After this year, yes, they can still franchise tag him, but most likely he'll be a free agent. The two sides will move on after an unbelievably strong relationship that had some twists and turns and all sorts of ways. He is going to play this season with a big raise. Terry McLaurin, another high-profile hold-in, also ended yesterday. He gets a 3-year deal worth up to $96 million. That is a max value. Base value closer to $30 million. He wanted with DK Metcalf, got it $33 million. Gets a little short of that, but I think for the Commanders, best thing for them is all eyes are now on week 1. They can just focus in on and making sure that the team is ready to be on the field. McLaurin has been ramping up to practice, so no issues there. He is expected to play. And then you mentioned the Cleveland Browns. We'll get right into it. Kenny Pickett, who has been, some thought would be their backup quarterback, maybe was going to be their third quarterback this season. Late last night, Kenny Pickett was traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a 2026 fifth-round pick, according to me, Garofalo, and Pelissero. I know several other teams called on Kenny Pickett. The Browns have talked potentially about maybe keeping 4 quarterbacks when the Las Vegas Raiders lost Aiden O'Connell 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured wrist. This one made more sense. He now lands as the backup for Geno Smith.
All right. Kyle, what do you got?
Jamie, I'm just. What a bizarre tenure for the Cleveland Browns, Kenny Pickett. What? They traded for him. He comes in. They draft all these rookies. They bring in Flacco. He's gone. Is anybody out there in Cleveland watching right now? Did anyone purchase a Kenny Pickett Browns jersey? Did you buy it? Did you invest and say this is the future? If you did, and don't fake one and don't make one up, I want to see a picture of a Kenny Pickett Browns jersey. I have huge respect for that guy. Everything with him in Pittsburgh, then Philly, and I'm a Super Bowl champ, and I'm a Brown, and now I'm what? His head must be spinning right now. Very bizarre tenure in Cleveland.
Hey, Kyle,
Ian.
How about this? So the Cleveland Browns, they had Dorian Thompson-Robinson on their roster. They traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles for Kenny Pickett. Coming over in that trade was a 2025 fifth-round pick. Kenny Pickett comes in.
Okay.
He's under contract, right? So he comes into Browns camp. He ends up, I'd say, probably as the 2/3, but certainly someone who's expendable. So the Browns say, you know what? We're not going to keep 3. We're going to trade you. And what did they get back? A fifth-round pick for this draft. That's it. That's a watch. That's the complete circle for the Cleveland Browns. Nothing bad there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
So, what do we call that, a wash or something? I don't know. Rap sheet.
I don't know.
Appreciate
I need to be
you.
washed. Yes.
Still with the cologne.
Gross.
Time for 3 and out. First down, Kenny Pickett. The aforementioned Kenny Pickett, and now his departure to the Las Vegas Raiders. He's our first topic on 3 and out. How does this translate to what you feel for the Browns quarterback room now? We desperately are pleading for an answer what the Browns are up to. At least we know now that Kenny Pickett is no longer there. What does this mean, Manti, for you?
Well, we've given them our reasons for it. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it all offseason, what we thought that it should have been. We all knew that Joe Flacco should have been the starter. He has the most history with the Cleveland Browns. And then it was a debate on who should be the backup. Said yesterday that the 2 rookies performed well in the preseason. They did. Shedeur performed well in week 1. Dylan Gabriel came in week 2 and week 3, looked solid. That was the picture. That was the formula that I thought that would make sense for the Cleveland Browns when they did trade Kenny Pickett over to the Las Vegas Raiders. I thought that made sense for Kenny Pickett. Now you're higher up on the depth chart and you're in the system. You look at Geno Smith and you think about those abilities. He resembles Geno Smith more than Joe Flacco. And I think that fits what Pete Carroll wants to do. So I think it's a win-win for both situations, not only for the Cleveland Browns, but the Las Vegas Raiders in this whole transaction that went down, Isaiah.
Yeah, when I look at this situation, first of all, good on the Browns. Like, you know, I know we beat them to crap yesterday. Good on the Browns for making a decision and sticking to it, right? Okay, you guys go ahead and get rid of Kenny Pickett. We knew that out of everybody who was in that quarterback room outside of Deshaun Watson, he was the one who had not put any skin on the wall this training camp. He's been injured, right? It just so happened to be it. So he's gone. Okay, so now all of a sudden you have a Flacco who is your right now resolution, and then you have 2 young quarterbacks that you're going to be focusing on, right? So kudos to the coach for saying that he's invested in Shedeur Sanders' future and actually standing by it and seemingly meaning it. What this does for me right now is it says that Joe Flacco is our solution for the right now. And if these young guys don't touch the field, right, lo and behold, Flacco's able to play the entire season. This creates the highest, I would say, most controversial, highest, attentiveness quarterback battle going into next training camp. You think about Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders next training camp. If neither of these guys touch the field this year at all.
You're taking us to the August of 2026, and you're saying, okay, all eyeballs on the quarterback battle. Understood.
If this body of work that we have from both of these guys is all that we have to go on going into next season, right? Meaning they don't touch the field in this season at all. Think about how crazy it's going to be competitively in terms of that room. I get the sense that these guys really don't care for each other a whole lot. I'm not putting that on them, but I just get the sense there. My spider senses kind of go up. So I would imagine that this is going to be some made-for-TV type battles next year.
Well, listen, I'll sign up for that. But what if it's week 2 of this year? Listen, I look at the Browns and I say I hope Joe Flacco plays well, and I hope he does not get hurt. Because if one of those things does not happen, then we're, okay, I guess Dylan Gabriel's starting, or is he? And then, listen, Dylan Gabriel starts, and hypothetically, I love Flacco, and I'm rooting for him. Joe Flacco has some sort of injury, he can't start. Dylan Gabriel comes out week 4 for the Browns and is their starter. When does the crowd start cheering for Shedeur? After his first incomplete pass for Dylan Gabriel? I mean, which is it? There is such a massive, massive support of enthusiasm and intrigue and blind support for Shedeur that if Dylan Gabriel goes in, it's like there's going to be so much animosity towards him because for not doing anything wrong. It's just, if Flacco doesn't work or if Flacco gets hurt and he is 40, then we're into the upside down and we have these two quarterbacks who, let's be honest, probably not on a great team and some sort of duel in the here and now. Isaiah's right. We'll settle this next year somehow. But what about this year? We got 17 games to play with Joe Flacco before Stefanski asks us to roll one of these rookies out there to great questioning. And it seems inevitable to me. What are the odds that Joe Flacco starts 40 games, or 17 games, rather, he's 40 years old, for health or performance? It's not great, right? So we're going to be here this year, guys. That's what I'm selling. Kenny Pickett seemed like the practical choice. He's gone.
Listen, it's one thing for your team if you cheer for them. You know, you start out the season and you thought it was going to be one way, but you're like 2-6. You're like, now I have to address the quarterback situation. It's a whole other beast to have it be August 26th and you're already knowing this about your quarterback situation. It's awkward and odd, and I don't wish it upon them, but here's where we're at with the Cleveland Browns. Second down. Just north of Cleveland, Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions spoke yesterday about how he believes that after losing both coordinators within his building, that this is still the most talented team as a head coach that he's had with the Lions.
You know, collectively across the board, this looks pretty good, you know. And I would say, yeah, year 5, this is the best we felt about it, kind of top to bottom. And now, that being said, there's still holes. But I bring this up all the time. Every roster has holes. And you'll never have it exactly where you totally want it. But from where we've come year after year, we've taken it another level. And that's a credit to Brad.
That is a credit to Brad, but also what the Lions could potentially accomplish without both coordinators. Last time we saw them play, they were losing to the Commanders, and we haven't seen the Detroit starters this preseason at all. So when you hear Dan Campbell assess his team this way, what makes you feel that this is still going to be the case and the truth for the Lions, Manti?
Well, because it's the same team, guys. It's the same roster. I'm confident in that roster. You know, Dan Campbell talked about the holes. There's not a lot of holes in that roster. There weren't a lot of holes last year. The only holes that were there was when their roster got hurt. That was it. I look at that roster and what Dan Campbell and company has been able to do in the 5 short years that they've been in Detroit. It's nothing short of amazing. Like, they grew that roster from the draft. Like, all of their guys are guys that they drafted. Now, yes, did they bring over some guys that are pivotal to the success, like Alex Anzalone and Jared Goff and all of them, and David Montgomery? Yes. But for the most part, that whole roster was homegrown in Detroit. The biggest holes is to what we mentioned earlier, is the coordinators. You have Kelvin Shepard, where there's a level of comfort there and confidence there with him because he's been there. He was a linebacker coach while Aaron Glenn was there. But there's a level of, I wouldn't say concern, but question when it comes to John Morton because he wasn't there. And we're so used to Ben Johnson and his wizardry as far as offensive play calling and all of the things that we've been so accustomed to see, that I saw a clip where they had to revamp their offense a little bit to go back to doing what Jared Goff is good at doing. Now, when I see that in training camp, there's a level of concern there because that wasn't something that we were talking about in previous training camp. So as far as the roster, I'm confident in it. I've been confident in it for the past 2-3 years. It's about the coordinators. It's about the new coaches and that new outfit that there's a level of concern there for me.
Man, good on him. I think what he's saying is true. I mean, he feels good about his roster. You know, he's not talking about the coaching staff. He's not talking about the coordinators. He's talking about his roster. He's talking about the job that Brad has done in terms of securing these guys. Think about how far they've come ever since Dan Campbell stepped foot in the building, and they immediately started investing into their offensive line. You know, with Penei Sewell. You know, so that was their first move. And then you look all the way to what they've done this year in the draft. They took an already solid defensive line and already solid offensive line, and they made it better. They went out in their first and second round pick and picked up offensive lineman and defensive lineman. That was their first 2 picks. And then their third pick was a receiver in Isaac Tesla. And we saw what he's done in the preseason. So these guys have gotten better at the positions that they were already strong at. So you start talking about adding depth pieces to an already solid team. Yeah, this is the same team with more talent and more depth. And now the question mark is just, what are the coordinators going to do?
Yeah, the roster's fantastic. All these young guys that they've invested in and been riding are fully in their prime, and the Jamesons and the Jameers, just electric playmakers. The story of this quote and the story of this Detroit Lions season is going to be Dan Campbell as a solo artist. Like, of course, he has new coordinators and coaches and stuff, but I think that there is a deep-seated belief among some skeptics that, well, you had these two fantastic coordinators in Johnson and Glenn, and now they're gone, Danny boy, and so you're going to ride now on your own. Let's see how good of a coach are you. Were you still just some sort of Neanderthal who had geniuses around you, and that's how you rode the top to the Lions? Are you that guy who's going to leave the band and you can carry it yourself? Are you Michael Jackson? Are you Ice Cube? Are you Jack White? Or, are you Tommy Lee leaving Motley Crue? I don't know. I don't believe it. I believe in this guy. I think he has all it takes, and I think this is the year about him. This is the year when he's like, I'm Beyonce. I'm not Belinda Carlisle. You understand me? I can handle this thing. I am a head coach here. Those other guys, Johnson, Glenn, by the way, I'm going to beat Ben Johnson this year twice. Watch me. And Ben, this is the year that Dan Campbell says, take him. You think you're going to look at me and I can't coach because those coordinators are gone? I am not some quote. I am not a Metallica roadie. I'm an NFL head coach who is extremely successful, and I'll show you this year on my own merits after those guys are gone.
But that doesn't mean that we don't appreciate the Metallica references, Coach. You can keep those up all the live long day. We love them.
Always.
Third down. Guys, we are 9 days away from kickoff. I would like to know the one question that you want answered before week one. This thing is looming, Manti. We haven't figured it out yet. 9 days, you need this answer. What's the question?
Where's Najee Harris at? Where is he at? Like, I want to know, is he playing? Like, there's a report that he could be up for week one. I want to see that. And you know why? Because I'm excited for Najee Harris over there at the Chargers. If you think about Najee Harris over there in Pittsburgh with Matt Canada as his offensive coordinator, everything was in shotgun, guys. Like, Najee Harris is 6'2", 232 pounds. We saw what he was able to do while he was an Alabama Crimson Tide. That guy runs hard. He runs downhill. And guess what Greg Roman is going to do? He's going to put him behind the quarterback, and they're going to run what MJD says as God's play, which is power. Power, power, power. And power plus Najee Harris equals touchdowns. So I'm excited to see when is Najee Harris coming back, because I love this combination with Najee, with Jim Harbaugh, old school running, and let's get a whole bunch of anger runs going over there to L.A. with the Chargers.
Okay, get gassed up.
Power.
I got the shirt on for a reason, Isaiah. The shirt is on for a reason.
The only question that I have pertains to this sweater that I have on right here.
Yeah.
You guys see the star right here, the Cowboys. I just want to know, how much money is Micah Parsons about to make?
Yeah, we need the answer.
That's the only answer. That's all I need to know. I know it's going to happen. I just want to know, how much guaranteed money is he going to have to back the Brinks truck up to get the money? Is it going to be direct deposit? Is it going to be in the form of if it's just straight cashier's check? I need to know, how much money is Micah Parsons going to have, because he is about to cash out.
Yeah, I want to know. Same thing about Micah Parsons. My question is very much different. Not how much money. How many cameras are ready in Dallas to capture the whole thing? Are they focused? Is everybody's battery charged? Do you have the right angle, the right lighting? We're going to put it on Amazon and YouTube and Netflix and CBS and Fox. Just all of this. My sense is it's done and they're ready, but hold on. We need to absolutely maximize every single drop of publicity and exposure, and we're going to sell it here and sell it here. This, to me, has felt like a WWE work for a while now. I also believe he'll be under contract and playing for against the Eagles. I just think, like, Dallas, you guys ready? Do you want just one more day to get all the cameras ready to soak us in? And when are you going to drop the news? Because I know it's not going to be Friday at 5 o'clock. Is it Sunday at 10 p.m.? Is it Monday morning? You just tell us when. There's so many questions, but all the answers relate to me. Look at me. And that's what we'll see from Dallas.
All right. And whenever that does happen, we will cover it editorially to the best ability that we can. We hope for all those answers before the regular season. Kyle, I have one question for you, and I think I know the answer. Yeah. Do you get all tingly when I say the year 1987? Because we're taking a trip back in time. The AFC West coaches and what they were doing in 87. Kyle, I feel like that is home for you. That is your secret sauce. But I'm going to do a little history lesson first and foremost.
I was a little second grader with an A-team lunchbox, just loving life. Andy Reid, you feel what I'm saying?
Tuesday, August 26th. Jamie Erdahl, Manti Te'o with the Supercharges in cursive shirt on. Isaiah Standback wearing the star. We have a partner in our clothing decisions today, so bear with us. Oh, no, someone's talking to us. Kyle Brandt, good morning to you, New York.
It's a fine.
That is a fine Isaiah. No, it's not. Kyle, business business was handled yesterday in the NFL just as we got off the air, so that means you must be locked and loaded for takes on news around the league.
Yeah, things we've been talking about for weeks, for months. It's all coming to a head, guys. There is football in 9 days, and we got big stars with big contracts in big moments. Let's get into it. It's Good Morning Football Tuesday. Let's roll.
Yeah, that's right. GMFB, everybody. Jamie, Manti, Kyle, Isaiah. Before we get to the NFL news, I'm always wondering, when there's so much that's going on in the NFL around the country, how does the New York Post handle things? Kyle, what's your Post test today with the Giants shirt that you're wearing?
Well, listen, this is America in 2025. Football rules the world. And that's why we have a Mets backup catcher on the back of the New York Post to get a couple of RBIs or something like that. I mean, what are we doing here, guys? The Jets and Giants could be 14-0, and we're still showing the Mets. I just, Post, you're old-fashioned. I respect it, but we like our football in this country. Come on, come join us.
Perhaps it's because a divisional foe figured out their business with one of their star wide receivers, and they just don't want to acknowledge it. And they also had the Tour de Force headline just in the hopper. They had to use it before the season ended.
Yeah.
Ian Rappaport, good morning to you. Rap Sheet joining us as our NFL Network insider this morning. So I can allude to it only so many times, Rap Sheet. Terry McLaurin, the contract drama is resolved. What are some of the details in Washington?
That's right. This was the big news to start what was a wild yesterday, the day before cutdown day. But a lot of teams were handling business. The Washington Commanders for sure handled their main piece of business. Terry McLaurin, who had been one of the NFL's most high-profile hold-ins during the course of training camp, agreed to terms on a 3-year deal worth up to $96 million. That is more than $30 million per year based on new money max value. As far as the base value, still do not have word on what that is, although my understanding is it is closer to $30 million per year new money. He had wanted the $33 million of DK Metcalf, similar productivity, same draft class. Didn't quite get there. Terry McLaurin a little bit older. Perhaps that is why. But I think for the Washington Commanders, look, they reward a really good player. They're happy to move forward with McLaurin. He gets a $30 million signing bonus, requested to be traded along the way. They never wanted to trade him. They wanted him to play for them. And you really felt like this was going to be in a good place when he started ramping up to get back onto the field, started the process of gearing up to practice. Now the contract is done. We'll see what the final terms are probably today, but the contract is done. McLaurin is going to be officially with the Commanders, going to sign that today, and everyone can move forward with all eyes on Week 1.
It's what Washington fans have known, Rap Sheet, so it must be comforting for them to know that Terry McLaurin's going to be there now for the next couple of seasons and compensated accordingly. The Commanders now know that Jaden Daniels has his ultimate weapon offensively moving forward, which is great since Jaden Daniels is still on the cheap, if you will. Manti, how do we feel about the Commanders now, ahead of prediction week, ahead of the opening weekend of the regular season, that Terry McLaurin deal is done?
Woo! Let's go. Let's go. It's time to win now, boys. It's time to win. Like, this is, you have, to your point, Jaden.
That's right.
Jamie,
yeah.
You're my security blanket.
If I were Jaden Daniels, I would just be thrilled beyond belief.
You're
but
my
I'm not,
security blanket,
so
Jamie. So you have the security blanket back for Jaden Daniels, right? You add that to Deebo Samuel. You add that to Zach Ertz. You know, that trade of Brian Robinson Jr. to the 49ers, that backfield just cleared up a little bit. You have Eckler there. It's going to be beautiful, guys. It's from a defensive standpoint, when you're looking at this Commanders offense, you have one of the most electric quarterbacks in the league right now, young quarterbacks in the league. You have a guy like Scary Terry who has tortured you for years and years. Now, all of that has come to fruition as of last year for him personally, not only from his production, but from the overall team success. You add Deebo to that equation, who's their gadget man. You saw what he was able to do with the 49ers, and Zach Ertz coming in live late, especially in the NFC Championship game. Guys, it's going to be scary over there in Washington. I know they start with those guys in blue, with the New York Giants. What a way to start the season off for them. I'm excited, Isaiah. I can't wait to see it. Now, Scary Terry's back on my fantasy football radar. I'm going to draft you probably in the fourth round, fourth round, I think it's going to be. So I can't wait. I know Commanders fans can't wait. So let's go.
Well, Scary Terry hopefully should have been always on your draft board because he should, regardless of what team he might have been playing for, he was going to be a dude. I am elated that they got this deal done. I am happy for him. You talk about somebody who was literally the gold standard for a receiver, the gold standard for somebody within your organization. Understand what this dude's been through. Since he came in 2019 for the Washington Commanders, this dude has played for 10 different quarterbacks. 10 different quarterbacks this dude has played with. This dude for the last 5 years has had 1,000 yards every season. You take care of this man. You show the rest of your team under this new ownership exactly how we treat players who are loyal, exactly how we treat players who go about their business the right way, and exactly how we treat players who absolutely ball out and go about their business. Listen, this guy is the one that they had to get done, especially when you have a rookie quarterback who is dependent on him, especially when you have a rookie quarterback who's going to be underneath his rookie contract. Give this guy the bread so he can take care of his business and you can go ahead and solidify the rest of your team. Go out there and win some ball games, Washington.
Yeah, listen, it's the band's back together. It's time to jam now. Now they're all whole. And I feel like this is the Jaden Daniels deal as much as it is the Terry McLaurin deal. Jaden Daniels is going to have big money in the future, but right now it's like, he's celebrating today. Like, you do not want to put Jaden Daniels out there in year 2 when everyone's looking for the hashtag regression and, McLaurin's not here. He's on another team. And I agree somewhat with the context of Terry McLaurin of what he's been through. All the quarterbacks, all the coaches, different owners. Terry McLaurin played for something called the Washington football team. Terry McLaurin was a Redskin. But put that aside. That's not why you get this deal. You don't get this deal because you're a good guy and you've been through a lot. You get this deal because last year the Commanders played 3 playoff games and Terry McLaurin had 3 touchdowns. You get this deal because last year you led the NFL in contested catches. Think about that stat. Think about what that means. When Jaden's running around and nobody's wide open and he's fighting against the defense and he's looking for a guy and Terry's not open, he throws it to him anyway, and Terry McLaurin gets it, a contested catch. We've been sitting here being like, wow, what if Terry's gone? We're trying to talk ourselves into it. I've heard you guys do it. I've tried to do it too. About like, well, maybe Debo, Zach Ertz. Listen, Debo, you're going to do big things this year. I have huge respect for Zach Ertz. That is a drummer and a bassist. You need the lead guitarist. You need someone to shred on lead guitar against number 1 corners and great defenses, and that was not Debo or Ertz. That is a Terry McLaurin deal with Jaden being the lead singer. The band is back together. I look at this team differently than I did 24 hours ago. Everything's possible this year for them. Everything's possible. They needed this guy in the field, in the locker room, and on 3rd and long.
I couldn't quite put my finger on the parallel between those two, wide receiver 1 and 2, or A and B, but leave it to Kyle for going lead guitarist and bassist. It is what we all needed. Thank you for the reference point. However, it does make me think of another team in the NFL that we refer to often with a prolific offense and specifically quarterback and 2 wide receivers. And that's the Cincinnati Bengals. Isaiah, when I look at the Commanders, I fear that the Commanders' defense struggled at times last season. So how does this look offensively for such a potent offense, great young quarterback, and great wide receivers? But how do they counteract that with, at times, a defense that struggled?
You talking about the Washington Commanders, right? Yeah. So, I mean, the Washington Commanders defense is going to be solid to me. I mean, you think about exactly who they have. They have Joe Witt Jr. as their defensive coordinator. You have Dan Quinn, a defensive-minded head coach who we know is an absolute Jedi. These guys have Bobby Wagner back, one of will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, really holding down the middle of that defense. Defensive line has always been solid. The issue has always been just their secondary as of late. So I think they're going to get that aspect figured out. I don't really have a problem with that. These guys just got to go find a way to go get the ball. That's what Dan Quinn's defenses are known for. See ball, get ball, take the ball away. And if they can do that and really keep offenses at bay, then the offense obviously is going to help them out tremendously.
Well, the guy that they signed last year, Marshawn Lattimore, used to be a former teammate of mine, former Ohio State Buckeye. You talk about see ball, go get ball. That guy, that's all he's done his whole entire career. He was offensive rookie, defensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year as a rookie, I think he was. But I look at that defense, and to your point, Isaiah, having Dan Quinn there, I know he's a head coach, but he's basically the guy who oversees that defense. To be able to have somebody like Von Miller to come in there in an NFC East where you have all of these quarterbacks that like to scramble and you want to keep them in the pocket. Adding somebody like Von Miller and allowing him to patrol that one side and keep those guys in the pocket. You saw what he was able to do throughout his career, especially in the Super Bowl against the Broncos, against the Panthers. I'm not worried about this Commanders defense. I'm actually really excited about him going into year 2 with Dan Quinn. And I'm looking forward to seeing those two linebackers in the middle and Bobby Wagner and Frank Louvu kind of do their thing in Rome. So it's nice. It's nice for the NFC East. It's nice for the Washington Commanders. It's nice for football fans.
All right. So as I mentioned, business was handled yesterday across the NFL. Terry McLaurin gets resolved, as well as Trey Hendrickson. Let's get Rap Sheet back in here. We got to keep talking about some of the headlines. Speaking of the Cincinnati Bengals and their defense, Trey Hendrickson, it is synonymous at this point with what that defense needs for success. What are the details in Cincinnati?
That's right. One of the NFL's other high-profile hold-ins also concluded yesterday in a flurry of deals and trades and a lot of craziness. Yesterday, right before a cut-down date, Trey Hendrickson, who has been sitting out practice, wanting a new contract, has agreed to terms on a new deal, according to me and colleague Tom Pelissero. But it is not an extension for Trey Hendrickson. It is instead a one-year, $14 million raise. It is a raise. So really what the Cincinnati Bengals did and Henderson did after discussing several options, including a one-year extension, a two-year extension. They were haggling over guaranteed money. How much money would they guarantee into the 2026 and even into the 2027 season to get him on the field to end this saga? What the Bengals decided to do was just cut off the last part of it, give him a raise this year, reward one of the best defensive players in the NFL, get him back on the field and help their defense reach its potential and be exactly what it should be. And then after this year, all sides move on. They still can theoretically franchise tag him, although the number is going to be exceptionally high. There's going to be a lot to discuss with Hendrickson next year, as he will likely be a free agent. But for right now, Henderson is going to be back on the field with the Cincinnati Bengals and their defense, and that is a very, very good thing.
All right, Rap Sheet, thanks. Let's drive down that street, though, because as Ian mentioned, it is odd to know that perhaps next summer we're having this same conversation about Trey Hendrickson, but on a different team and what deal he might get. The point is, though, is that he will be on the Bengals defense this season, Manti. So what does that mean to you?
Well, I'm happy for Trey. I'm happy for Trey because he wanted more guaranteed money. When I spoke to him, it was about the guaranteed, and he did say that he was willing to take less. Now, I didn't think he was going to take a 1 year, but I'm happy that he thought it was good enough for him to come back. Now, as far as the Cincinnati Bengals and that defense, guys, you need more help than just Trey. That's the honest truth about it. And I think they know that. That's why they probably negotiated a 1, trying to give them some space, trying to give them some cushion into figuring out, okay, how is the best way for us to attack the holes on this defense? Because if anything, guys, we learned in the preseason, screw last year, just the preseason alone, these guys can't stop the run for anything. And I know Trey is the sack leader and all of that. He had 17 and a half sacks for 2 years straight. Keyword is sacks. This is not run stops, and they need run stoppers. That's what that defense needs with that offense that is potent. It's explosive. They're going to put a lot of points on the board. So I'm so happy for my brother Trey. I'm happy that I saw a deal that was sufficient for him, at least for a year. I just think that defensively, that Bengals defense in that division, it's going to be a challenge.
Listen, if he's happy, I'm happy for him. But I don't like this. I don't like this for him at all. I think that he's settled.
Yeah,
I truly believe that he's settled. You talk about somebody who has shown you, they told him that what you did was not enough, right? He went out there and led the league in sacks and said, you know what, we need to see more. So he said, okay, I'll come back and I'll do more. I'll do what you asked. And then when I do that, I want to get the bread. All he did was come back and lead the league again in sacks, right? So over the last 3 years, he is number 2, right behind Myles Garrett for sacks, okay, and most sacks. They said, you know what? Sorry, we just gave these guys a bunch of money. We really don't have nothing left for you. Everybody else who's doing what you're doing, performing how you're performing at your position for multiple years is getting $40+ million. I don't like that he settled for 30. And who am I to tell him that he's settled? But I'm telling you right now, I believe he's settled. He is worth more than what he's playing for this year. He deserves to have some security in terms of his finances, in terms of his future, in terms of his potential for injury risk. If he goes out and gets injured this year, it is no different to him than playing on a franchise tag. Matter of fact, he's making less money than if he were to be playing on a franchise tag. So I don't like this for Henderson. I know the Bengals are elated right now because now they have him, who they're going to go ahead and run this out for this last year for the discount double check. And then they have their Shamar Stewart, who they drafted to go out there and be his replacement. I know the Bengals are happy, but I'm not happy for Trey Henderson.
Yeah, this is not some huge win for Trey Hendrickson, guys. Like this. You look, you see $30 million and it's great. Like, this is a promise ring. It's What is this? Are we this is an engagement ring? Not really. It's a promise that we will get engaged. I promise. Not really. Listen, good for him. He's going to be on the field. I'm not his agent or his accountant. I don't really care how much money Trey Hendrickson has. I care how good the Bengals are going to be this year. But listen, he has this great year, and he has 18 sacks this season. They will franchise tag him. They will. It'll be expensive, but they'll do it. He's not that great this year. And in fact, Shamar Stewart is good. See you later. There's no scenario where the Cincinnati Bengals give him a long-term deal. So if you really care about that, if that's what gets you going in the morning, fine. I'm more about can the Bengals win a Super Bowl this year now that they have their pass rusher? Can the Bengals win a playoff game? Can they get to the playoffs? It's still it's so much offense. And I still, to your point, Manti, it's he is a very good pass rusher. That is 1 of 11, and he does a very specific job that doesn't do all these other things. It's like you have this barbecue platter, and you got your beef and your mac and cheese and your mashed potatoes, and then there's this little bit of okra on the corner, and it's well, there's vegetables. You're good. It's healthy. That okra can only do so much, guys. I like okra too. I can't compete with the tri-tip or whatever it may be that's just dominating the plate. I still feel like they're going to have to score so many points this year. I still hope that the defense is better, and he will be out there. That is a very good thing. But the okra cannot carry you to the AFC Championship game. You need a lot more, or just the mac and cheese has to be that good.
Fire.
I find okra to be quite bitter, which is what the Bengals are trying to avoid with this guy being on their defensive line. You got to fry it. That's a good point. Just to put a bow on stand-in situation with a lot of these stars, Terry McLaurin figured out, Trey Hendrickson figured out, but Micah Parsons stays looming. Just 30 seconds, Isaiah, on the state of the nation with Parsons and what it's like in the building in Dallas right now.
All eyes on Micah right now.
Yeah.
I know Micah's probably not happy with what just happened with Trey Hendrickson because I know he was watching to see exactly how that deal went down. And it doesn't give him any security in the fact that he just signed it, it wasn't even an extension. It was just a raise. It was a little bump, right? $30 million when he should have been making $40 million. Talking about Trey, that is. But Micah's deal, I don't think this is going to impact him too much. He'll still get his deal done. He'll still be the highest paid, $41+ million, I can imagine, per year for Micah coming up.
We are getting closer to hopefully all of these things being resolved and playing regular season football. Until then, let's continue to look ahead to the 2025 season. Christian McCaffrey, we're looking squarely at you. What's your bounce back ability going to look like from an injury-plagued 2024?
And we have that between ourselves and yourself. But do we have it with NFL players and teams right now? Very difficult. It's August 26th. The season opener is in 9 days. But we are establishing our own personal trust scales here on Good Morning Football of things that we trust and don't trust in our personal lives. And then we're putting players or teams on that scale. Now, if you missed part 1 of the trust scales, you missed Jamie Erdahl saying the thing she doesn't trust at all is children's products that say that they're washable, like paints and arts and crafts and stuff, and they never really are. The thing that Jamie trusts completely is the Canadian tuxedo, denim on top, denim on the bottom. It works. It's versatile. It looks good. Anybody could pull it off. Then, meanwhile, we had Isaiah Standback, who said the thing he doesn't trust at all is carnival rides and carnivals in general. I get it. And then Isaiah implicitly trusts online barbecue reviews. People who went and had the brisket and they say, 5 stars, lock it up. We're seeing nods, we're seeing smiles, because that was their whole segment. It was beautiful. Now, Manti Te'o, I have known you for a relatively short amount of time, but I trust you. And I want you to tell what you don't trust in life, what you do trust in life, all kinds of places you could go on this, Manti.
Yes.
I can't wait. Let's find out.
All types of places. Talking about traffic, my trust scale relates to each other, okay?
Okay.
The thing that I do not trust, zero, are traffic lights. I do not trust traffic lights at all. Matter of fact, we're going to do an experiment here at the table.
Oh.
I want you to tell me what you think a green light. I don't want to know what the green light is supposed to mean. I want to know, Jamie Erdahl, what does a green light mean to you?
Drive across the street.
Okay, Isaiah.
Yeah, go.
Go. KB.
Go fast.
Yellow. What does it mean, Jamie?
Get through the lights.
Get through, exactly. What does it mean?
It depends on when the yellow when it happened.
KB?
Hey, it means be a cautious driver and hit the brakes and wait for the light to change like
All
a good
different.
citizen.
Red light.
Stop.
What is yours?
Stay stop.
Halt. KB?
Hopefully right on red, but probably stop and look at my phone.
Exactly, guys. So what I've learned throughout my years when it comes to this traffic light, first of all, red light is Smile, you're on camera, you're about to get a ticket, okay?
Yeah.
Yellow light is you still got time before it's a red light. And the green light for me is proceed with caution. Whenever I come up to an intersection and that thing goes green, I wait for a good split second. And I look left and I look right as if I'm crossing the street without a crosswalk. And I make sure as I'm going in the middle of that intersection that there's still no traffic that's coming. I don't trust a stoplight. But the thing that I do trust is related to a stoplight. Matter of fact, it's on a stoplight. When that pedestrian signal turns to walk,
baby. Yeah.
My foot is already in the middle of the street. It's probably on the asphalt already. Matter of fact, when I start to walk across the street and I'm in the crosswalk and I have the walk, I will look at traffic as I'm walking across like this. Like, I know you see me, you better stop. I trust, guys, that walk signal so much that I am Mr. Indestructible as I'm crossing the street because the light told me it is time for me to walk. And if you are in a car, you better stop because it's my time, just like it's my time on this trust scale. And it's also my quarterback's time, okay? The quarterback that I have on this trust scale is Jaden Daniels. Number 2. This is his second year. And there's talks about this term that we don't use on this show. It's his second year, blah, blah, blah. Guys, the guy is phenomenal. It's year 2 with Cliff Kingsbury. It's year 2 now that he has his comfort blanket back with Terry McLaurin. He now has Deebo Samuel. He now has a clear backfield. He now has a defensive coach that's going to take them far into the season. I got him at an 8.5.
Nice.
That's where I have Jaden Daniels as an 8.5. 8 because I think that's a floor to their season. As to the wins, is the floor is 8, and 5 because it's my quarterback's number, man. It's 5. So I got Jaden Daniels on that scale from the stoplight to the pedestrian signal. I have my quarterback sitting at an 8.5.
You're crushing this, man, Ty. How satisfying is it too when the animation is actually that red hand and then it switches to that white walker guy and you're like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going for a walk. It feels good. It does.
And how about when the countdown
starts? And by the way, man, Ty, that thing where you like look tough in the street and make them run into you, that works for you. I think they'll stop for you, dude. You're a big hunk of man.
Yep. Or when the countdown starts and you're like, oh, I only have 20 seconds to cross. Oh, I'm going to make that. I'm going to pick up my pace.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Even 5 seconds, you just still run across that thing and look at the traffic. Like, you still got to wait for me.
Totally.
Trust it totally.
Are you making eye contact?
It's flashing that don't walk, and then it holds on the don't walk. That's like Squid Games, baby. I'm going.
This boy making eye contact with the driver.
You and the Tesla. I see you.
Yeah, you will stop.
You going to stop?
Yep.
Hit me, I get paid.
All right, Kyle, bring us home.
Well, man, Ty, the Tesla driver will definitely stop. I don't know about the guy in the F-150, though. Like, there's a different deal going on. You know what I mean? The Tesla driver will stop. All right. Things I trust and don't trust. This one's going to be pretty relatable, guys, for all of us. I do not trust some little devilish creation called voice to text. I don't trust it. It lets me down all the time. I try to use the voice to text. I try to be a good citizen, especially when I'm driving. It never works. I'm coming home. I text my wife. Beep. I will be home shortly. A second later, she texts me, did you just call me Shorty? LOL. I'm like, no, I didn't call you Shorty. She goes, yes, you did. She screen caps me. She thinks it's funny. And then I'm like, I'm stressed sometime when I'm traveling. I go, that flight's not going to work this morning, comma. So much for all that trouble, period. Ugh, I'm fired up. The text comes through. Bad fight going into work this morning. So much trouble. I'm fired. Brooke's like, what? What happened? What? I didn't text that. I said a flight, not fight, you idiot. And you know what ends up happening? It lets me down so often that I end up going and correcting the thing and trying to slide back and change the grammar. It's a well-intended thing, and I want to use it, but I can't keep messing it up and fix all your mistakes. If we're 2025 and the computers are smarter than us, how come you can't discern between the word duck and whatever the hell else I said? Figure it out. Stay up with me. I need to make this thing work so I can be a safe driver. I don't trust that thing at all. Voice to text. No, voice to the toilet. I don't like it. Now, I'm looking for a knight in shining armor of something in modern technology that I can just hand my life over to. Even as a person that works in media and live television, you know what I have developed a 100% trust relationship with? I trust Wikipedia all day long, every day. That is my scripture. Look at that beautiful globe with the puzzle pieces and the omega. I use it at work. I probably shouldn't. I could be in the middle of a highlight and it's some rookie that I've never heard of before. He was undrafted to the Panthers, and I'll be like, he started out at Georgia, then entered the portal, and he went to MIT. He threw for 8,000 yards his senior year and helps out in his family's flamingo farm in Massachusetts. I would just read it on Wikipedia and completely believe it was true. It used to be like Wikipedia was like the idiot's source. Now I feel like it's just Teflon. I could go to my own Wikipedia, and if it said that Kyle Brandt went to space with Katy Perry, I'd be like, it must have happened. It's on Wikipedia. I don't remember it, but I trust Wikipedia all day, every day, and I know I'm not the only one at the table who does.
I don't trust it at all.
Oh, I do.
You do?
Oh, I do for sure.
Oh, my God.
And in fact, if I read something that's so out of this world, I will go down and be like, when was this thing last edited? Because unless this is a joke, I'm taking it to the grave. Like, Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, now when you have that little summary that pops up, so I don't even have to get down to the Wikipedia page. Like, if I'm researching that, there's going to be something that's going to draw from an article that I don't even got to get to the Wikipedia page.
Kyle, did you have an implication that one of us fell victim to the Wikipedia? Is that what that was?
No, I just honestly think, I feel like we're honestly having to search things and search people. That was an earnest thing. I think some of you guys remember it. There was a time Wikipedia used to be like the bathroom wall, and you would scroll things on there and meet up here and call. Now I feel like it's like what World Book Encyclopedias used to be. I just completely trust them. But I don't trust voice to text. So on a scale of voice to text to Wikipedia, where does my player land? I have J.J. McCarthy, guys. Oh. And for the sake of being a positive morning show and hope springs eternal as we turn into September, put J.J. McCarthy on the scale between voice texts and Wikipedia. Go ahead. I have J.J. I got him right there at a 5. Woo. And I think that's generous. I really do. You're going to say, how are you not? He's never played. I saw him in a preseason action over a year ago, and then I saw him at Michigan. I have not seen him in a real tackle football game. You think about this. We know way more about Michael Penix Jr. than we know about J.J. McCarthy. J.J., to me, is the most pivotal, most interesting, mysterious player in the entire league because he drives the Jefferson Ferrari, he drives the O'Connell Ferrari, and he drives the Vikings won a ton of games last year Ferrari, but we don't know if he knows how to drive. And fact is, he looks like a guy who still has his learner's permit. So I'm going to be generous and give them a 5. This easily could have been a 3 before the season starts.
I'm surprised it's that low with Kevin O'Connell as a head coach.
What?
I know.
He's never played. Did you listen to what I just said?
I get it.
How am I supposed to trust him? If Lamar is an 8, J.J. McCarthy should be a 2.
Wow, so triggered. Manti's putting Kevin O'Connell trust skill at 10. If that's
so it kind of averages out a little bit to be a little bit like
no. You're right.
A 5.
You're right. It does average out because Kevin O'Connell was at a 10 and McCarthy was at a 0. He brought him to a 5. I'm with you, Kyle. I see what you did there.
Now, and Kyle, that
and by the way,
quickly.
I love O'Connell. O'Connell's not a 10 either. O'Connell's an 8-8. Bill Belichick in his prime is a 10, guys.
Right,
Phil Jackson is a 10. Kevin O'Connell's a nice coach. Not like he has a bunch of Super Bowl rings.
There you go.
You're saying Bill's a 10?
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a 10-10.
He got like 8 Super Bowl rings or something.
In like a 9-ish.
What? As a coach?
So this is what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. This is what I'm saying. I love Bill Belichick. Okay. I love Bill Belichick. I respect Bill Belichick. But when Tom Brady left, what happened? What happened?
Oh, no. This is not the segment for this.
What happened?
He won 11 games with Matt Castle, Manti. We talk about it all the time.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying to be a 10. I'm saying he's like a 9. I'm saying to say it like a 10. Right. Like, there has to be a reference on this scale of a coach who's a 10. That's what I'm saying. It's who's a 10.
Every great
who's
coach
the 10?
has that great player. Like you
no, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if we're saying who's a 10, there has to be a reference. So Bill Belichick is a 10. So is Andy Reid a 10?
Yeah, I bet
he's right there. He's right underneath.
Is Sean McVay a 10?
Nah.
No.
Oh,
is Nick Saban a 10? Like, that's what I'm trying to get. It's like, what's...
Yeah.
Like, Nick Saban to me is like a 10. Like, Nick Saban can do it with any quarterback. Like, he did it with any quarterback. So that's what I'm...
Might be a 10.
Like, that's what I'm saying with the references. There's no shot to Bill Belichick. I'm saying what the reference is. We have to have a reference of who is the 10.
This is where these segments go, guys. This is the scale segments. I didn't know Manti was going to be screaming about Nick Saban at this segment, but I like it. And don't roll up on him in the road, guys.
Nick
He's
Saban,
on the road. You better hit the brakes real fast.
Blame explain that. But Kyle, you're actually going to get to go to Buffalo and can dig in a little bit deeper. And I hope you have some buffalo wings on the side while you're getting into all of that.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll be time. I'm in and out. I'm going to sit with Josh Allen tomorrow in Buffalo. Very, very, very excited. We're going to do a sit-down conversation for the beginning of the season. So many things to catch up on with that guy. I personally haven't talked to him in a long time, but I will be there right there when we just saw in the Bills facility tomorrow. I'm on a plane. I can't wait. I'll come back with stories, guys.
Yeah, please also wish them congratulations on Josh getting married this offseason. We're going to see how that rolls into the year because we are just 9 days away from the NFL season kicking off. So do you need some new swag for game day? Maybe go to a friend's house? Perhaps you like to tailgate. Well, the National Football League and Abercrombie & Fitch announcing yesterday a multi-year partnership naming Abercrombie & Fitch as an official NFL fashion partner. This is a first for a league sponsor. Abercrombie will help blur the line between outfits worn during game day and arrivals, plus just your everyday wear. Looking at you ladies and gentlemen can wear this. So we are all just dripped out in Abercrombie swag because we are now, the partnership. You got Patriots, Chargers. I got a little Go Pack Go here. Who do you have on you? You have Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah, Kyle back there. So, I mean, we're all repping some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Jamie, if you could pick
This is amazing.
a player,
I love this
coach.
stuff, Sherry. Go ahead.
No, it's
Which
like, Kyle,
player, coach, what?
who could be an Abercrombie model?
A model.
A model. Yep.
Oh my!
Stretch your
A
stuff a
player
little.
or a coach? I mean, this, first of all, shout out to Abercrombie & Fitch. Like, it's not just a Patriots logo with like a huge Abercrombie thing. Like, this is very vintage feeling, the old school sweater style, if you will. I'm going to break the segment like I did last hour, which I know Kyle loves when I do this. The thing about Abercrombie models, if you used to walk in the old store, it was just like the banner of good-looking people. It wasn't just like, oh, there's one person. It was like, how did they find 5 or 6 people to stand up there with the jeans? They look great, whatever. So if I could pick somebody to model Abercrombie clothing, the entire New York Giants quarterback room, okay? Because then you got Jackson Dart, you got Russell Wilson, who's taken his picture once or twice before. You got Jameis Winston, who's got the biggest. But I demand that Tommy DeVito be included in that, okay? Because like we need the full-blown New York Giants quarterback room experience modeling the Abercrombie denim. I think that's my idea. That's my pitch.
Okay, who you got?
I'm in it, Jamie. Listen, I'm classically trained in Abercrombie. I used to wear the Woods cologne. I had the sweaters. This is my absolute jam. I love this. But the Abercrombie models, they need to be ripped. Like, it's always like six packs and a lot of triceps and all that. Like someone like Josh Allen or Joe Burrow doesn't have the body type. You know who was I'm not messing around here. The classic Abercrombie model is Will Levis.
Nice.
Will
100.
Levis from the Titans. That is an Abercrombie set of deltoids right there. You got to be shredded. You got to be mid-90s ripped, 2025 ripped. Will Levis is injured this year. I don't care. He should spend the offseason and the current season modeling for Abercrombie. We got the gear, Will. I got you.
I can't continue.
Right?
So it's mayonnaise and Abercrombie.
Oh, my gosh. Next. Okay, I'm going to go with this. The way I thought about it was I need somebody that's going to wear the gear all the time, okay? And an undrafted free agent that doesn't have a lot of gear on him. He's usually wearing team-issued gear anyway. It's Efton Chisholm for the Patriots. Like, Efton Chisholm is already making a name for himself, and you know that he's going to wear issued gear. He's in that market. I think that Efton Chisholm would make a great
pick.
Abercrombie & Fitch
great choice.
model.
Yeah.
Maybe your guy Tesla. He really,
Isaac Tesla.
He'll make a homemade version.
That Honolulu
He needs a
blue.
Tesla endorsement.
Yeah, he does.
Facts. Has Elon called him yet? I mean, the guy's name is Tesla.
He lives in Motor
I
City.
figured that one out. I was going to go with Jackson Dart. I think that Jackson Dart, I think he is that guy, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip it up a little bit.
That's good, dude.
I'm going to flip it, okay? If it's not Jackson Dart, okay, because I think he has a swag, he has a chain, a pretty boy type face, all that kind of stuff, then I have to go all the way down to Jacksonville, Florida. Trevor Lawrence.
Nice.
Trevor Lawrence is the guy right there.
Yeah.
You see it right there. I feel like he has like that blue steel just waiting for him just to turn and look at the camera and just like he has the look. You know, I think that he's that guy. He has the long hair, the long mane. He is the one that I think should be rocking the Abercrombie.
Sherry, do you have one?
I want to go with the all-bicep team of GMFB. A little throwback. I mean, look at Manti with the short sleeves. You know, Kyle out there, too.
Yeah.
KB, you know.
I just want to see you guys out there. You guys could be some Abercrombie models. Little throwback. Yeah. I was like, no
the
thanks.
loose fit. You know, the loose fit.
The loose. You don't
Abercrombie.
wear loose fit anything.
Right? Abercrombie does aim to redefine fan style throughout a fashion-first lens in partnership with the NFL. Again, that announced yesterday a new multi-year partnership naming Abercrombie & Fitch as an official NFL fashion partner. More Good Morning Football coming back when we come back.
We're keeping the sweater.
Yes,
yeah,
the shirt, the throwbacks, man.
Swolio.
Madison, drafted by Dallas in the 7th round of 2020, along with the Cowboys. He has been with the Broncos, the Bills, the Saints, the Seattle Sea Dragons of the XFL, and most recently, your Atlanta Falcons. How can you relate to someone like that? How can I? Because of this. Saturday night, he had a tweet that resonated with all of us who have worked through things before at an airport bar, and we will get into it. There it is, tall and frosty. And that's not just the quarterback, that's the beer, too. Please welcome Ben DiNucci. What's up, Ben? How we doing?
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so let's just get right to the star of this segment, which respectfully is not you, it's the beer. People loved it. People related to it. Take us through it. You're sitting at an airport bar, kind of a self-loathing type place. You've just been released. What are you feeling, and how was the icy cold one?
Yeah, honestly, it was a feeling of gratitude, right? I mean, to be able to be cut 7 times, you've got to be signed equally as many times. So for me, it was kind of a full circle moment, pretty cool. Let's make light of this. I kind of figured, hey, let me try to word this thing the right way so that I get as much engagement as possible. And sure as heck, I found a way out how to do that, and it resonated with people and it was relatable. So cool to see the turnout.
Man, B, yesterday we were talking about this tweet actually in your story, and I referred to the fact that I can relate that I've been cut 5 times, but I don't know what that 7th cut beer tastes like. Were you surprised exactly how the type of response that you received from that?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Look, I mean, I tell people all the time, I'm no different than anybody else. The only thing I can do is throw a football 60 yards further than you. So I think a lot of the times, people see us on Sundays, and that's all you're seeing, right? You're not seeing the human side of things. You're not seeing we're just like everybody else, right? You get fired from work, you have a bad day at the office, whatever it is, right? A cold one is good for any situation. And, if you can make light of the situation and throw a little humor at yourself, I'm all for it.
Ben, I don't believe you, man. You're not like everybody else. You know why? Because on November 1st, 2020, let's take a trip back. Cowboys, Eagles, Sunday Night Football. Your one and only start in the NFL. Obviously, you want a different outcome. What was that? Take us back to that. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, honestly, it's hard to even really put myself back in those shoes. It was my rookie year in the NFL. It was COVID. It was this weird year. I had no OTAs, no preseason, no practice reps. And all of a sudden, Dak and Andy Dalton go down in the span of a couple of weeks. Everyone's looking around like, hey, Ben, go out there and have some fun. So to be able to say that, hey, I started a game for the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, something a lot of people can't say they did. It was an awesome experience. Awesome. It's been an awesome journey the last 5 years, and to be able to, kind of pinpoint as, hey, you're in the NFL, let's do this thing. That was really cool for me.
And Ben, we were scrolling through your Twitter account, being a little nosy, Casey, looking through your feed, and we saw that you like to have a couple takes on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we obviously know that you spent some time in Dallas, and you know all about Jerry's world. Where do you stand right now with a Micah versus Jerry scenario?
I mean, I understand both sides of it, right? I've been inside the locker room and, owning my own business the last couple of years. I very much understand that side of it, too. So I think Jerry's just playing the game, right? I mean, you see the stuff he's saying to the media. It doesn't sound like, Mike is going to be anywhere else. I would expect sometime before next Thursday for this deal to get done and, Micah to get all the cash that he's expecting.
Ben, have you seen the Netflix documentary that's come out on the Cowboys? Kyle Brandt, who introduced you on the show, has now said that the Cowboys are a content machine playing football on the side instead of football with content on the side. Would you agree with that, having been inside the locker room and what that like with the cameras all around and the Jerry Jones experience?
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. In 2021, we were on Hard Knocks as well, so I got to see kind of firsthand the whole production. Hey, it's a lot bigger than football here. That was kind of, I came from JMU. I didn't come from one of these big Power 5 schools where football necessarily was the world, right? And then all of a sudden, the first team in the NFL is the Cowboys, and it's like, oh man, this is how the other side lives. So to have cameras everywhere, to have the big production 24/7 was eye-opening, but it's cool, right? I mean, you got to be on 24/7. There's always people watching, And they expect the best out of you, so it comes with being part of it down there.
Well, it sounds like I just learned that JMU has a PhD in football personality, because you have already hit us with a couple great one-liners. To be cut 7 times mean you had to be signed 7 times, and that I'm just like you, but I can throw the ball 70 yards farther. Now, a lot of those quotes would be great in a media career. So when we see another tweet that you put out, which is, I have been relieved of my duties in Atlanta. They no longer need my services. Stay tuned. Career update coming. Ben, dare I say, could we see a microphone in your hand soon?
Yeah, this Saturday you're going to see a microphone in my hand. I'm calling Bucknell versus Air Force for CBS Sports. I'm going to be in the being an analyst, so I'm excited to do that. It'll be a new challenge, a new kind of career path while, put the NFL on hold for a little bit. I'm excited to, go out there, learn a little bit, fail a little bit, and kind of hit the ground running at something new. It's been football for so long, so I'm excited.
Ben, you'll be in the booth on Saturday. You're up there. You're getting ready for kickoff. But, what if a team calls? How do you handle something like this? The balance between staying available to the NFL and pursuing a TV career?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll cross that road when we get there. It might be a good problem to have. But right now, I'm excited for what comes next. My phone my agent's phone hasn't rang in a couple of days. And, who knows? It might ring, it might not. At some point, the NFL kind of, spits you up and chews you out, and they want the younger guys and, guys who haven't had the opportunity. So I've been fortunate enough to play for 5 years. I've had some opportunities, met some awesome teammates, coaches, and been around a lot of, cool places and cities. So if this is it, this is it. If not, I'm going to keep working out, doing what I'm supposed to do. And, if the phone rings, I'll be ready to roll. So.
Cool.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Ben. I'm sure the Browns will call you. They need quarterbacks. All right, here we go. We're going to give Ben a toast right now. Everybody in L.A., we raise our glass to Ben DiNucci, who is all class, all talent. Ben, if you got one too. From the high school fields of Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, all the way to being drafted by America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, your backyard dreams became a reality, to a football life on the field well lived, and to a brand new journey off the field. We toast you, our guy, Big Ben DiNucci. That's the man right there. And if there's an 8th beer, there's an 8th beer. We love you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. You just made my morning.